Coming up right now, a Philly police officer job hits a little too close to home. Find out why there was no brotherly love during this arrest.
Also coming up, it's the latest beauty trend known as doll makeup. The toy line to blame for this colorful look.
All right, a little bit later on, help wanted. One outlet is looking to hire a reporter with just one job, following the future wife of a well-known billionaire.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, welcoming you to a Tuesday edition of Daily Flash. We got a whole hour packed with trending news and entertainment. Jackson, you don't really drink soft drinks all that much, do you?
I don't, but I do enjoy a real Coca-Cola if I ever do. Yeah.
All right. So I found a site, what your soft drink says about you.
Okay.
And so you're a Coke. So you were born to live. You have a infectious zest of life, and you're typically the leader of the pack. I'd buy that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. How about you?
I'm a Dr. Pepper guy.
And yours is?
I have not had a Dr. Pepper in quite some time, believe it or not. But as I look through here, it says that I'm a human equivalent of a party bus, fun and going places. The party doesn't start until you arrive. I like that.
I like that. I agree with
And
that.
then, Maddie, what about you? What's your soft drink?
I go Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. Diet Coke.
Party
And-
pooper.
All right, here we go. Diet Coke says, you're cool. There's no getting around that. You often can be seen around town straight taking care of business.
Okay, I could see Matt in that role too.
right,
Sure.
I'll take
It's
it.
as if they knew you,
Yes.
Maddie. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that.
Usually mine's got Jack in it though, so add that to it.
Jack, yeah, that's a whole
of
other
course.
thing.
That part that goes to the party bus part. of
Right,
the
right.
Too. Tattoos, job seekers. Gal recently went to apply for a job at TJ Maxx, inked from head to toe.
Okay.
Goes in, she's denied the job. She goes back into the TJ Maxx and starts tearing a new one into all of the employees there, blaming them for her not getting the job.
Interesting.
Now, the issue I have is if you choose to tattoo your face and your whole body, then I think there are certain jobs and employers that probably don't want that kind of look representing them,
Certainly,
at the
yeah,
register.
100%, sure.
And that's their right to choose. But for her to go back into the TJ Maxx and start berating all of the employees.
They had nothing to do with her not getting
Nothing
hired.
to do with that. No.
Not at all. And I think, we're at a point where we always think, well, you can do whatever you want, and,
Yes.
and everybody has to accept it.
Yes.
And, by all means, I think we should have some of that. But as you're
course.
going back to where you had said, that what society is prior to you getting those tattoos.
Yes.
Right?
So if you're going to tattoo to the extreme, then I think you might limit yourself to
yes.
certain jobs. I mean, it just goes without saying, right?
I think it's becoming more and more, more accepted. It used to be nowhere higher than the neck.
Yes.
And then you see that sort of thing. And look, I understand, and she's probably frustrated because she realized, maybe she didn't know that going into it, being that inked up.
It's
but
possible.
she had them on her face everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Jelly Roll's doing great with it.
Yes,
So
but
maybe
then the musician, that career as a musician, it sort of works
it
with
comes
that
with
career.
it. Sure.
Yeah, I get
Right
it.
about that. Yeah, and he also did time, so
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
then he earned
keep that in
a
mind.
few of those tattoos. Right?
Let's go to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. There was one police encounter, might be anything but the city of brotherly love. There's a video, it's gone viral, showing a Philadelphia police officer arresting what looks like to be his twin brother.
Oh my goodness.
In the video, you actually can see the man removing another man from a home in handcuffs. The two men appeared to share similarities in appearance, but there is no clear confirmation in the video that the two men are actually related. You can actually hear the detainee yelling, "I'll be right home," while he's being placed in the van. And the cop holding him is like allowing him to do this. Neighbors appear to be laughing as the situation kind of unfolds. So they just look alike altogether, but not necessarily
And the officer
related.
seems to be laughing.
Yeah,
at
he
the
was
whole
laughing along
situation.
that sort of
So
thing,
it
too.
seems like there's some kind of familiarity between the two.
And they did. I don't know if you got to see it, but they
Yeah.
did. They look very similar.
Very similar.
Right.
Well, fashionistas are calling the latest beauty trend doll makeup. The baby-faced aesthetic started on the runways before taking over social media. The look features pencil-drawn micro brows, intense eyeshadows, bright blush, and exaggerated pouty lips. The trend incorporates pale face powder, intense colors, extra long lashes, and it's often finished with a short dress and hair done up with a bow. So if you're wondering what started this trend, we'll think of Barbie's counterpart, the Bratz doll, as the inspiration. There you go.
Hey, if make me look like this, just
Yeah.
she looks wonderful. It doesn't look like she looks like a doll.
Yeah.
So I mean, you kind of like, well, why you have so much makeup on? Are you trying to hide something?
Right.
But I think she looks lovely.
She looks gorgeous. Yeah.
Indeed. All right, the online news feed, The Daily Beast, is looking for a reporter who will be focused on just one story. Anything to do with the future Mrs. Jeff Bezos. The senior Lauren Sanchez correspondent will cover all aspects of the life of the former news anchor and currently a billionaire's fiance. The job listing has pushed ahead of schedule when a British celebrity called the future Mrs. Bezos absolutely revolting in a recent Instagram post. The Sanchez reporter comes. That's a dirty Sanchez thing to say.
That's a horrible,
right?
that's a filthy Sanchez.
That's just
That's filthy.
just horrible.
Filthy Sanchez.
The Sanchez reporter comes just months after is it Gannon or Gannett? I always miss those.
Gannett.
I think it is Gannett.
Gannett.
Right? Anyway, they hired a Taylor Swift reporter to post constant stream of content related to the pop star. I think, and they know they're looking ahead. She's going to be jumping into the headlines when this wedding goes down. So why not have something for that one page of the newspaper or wherever, or the blog or whatever that's going to.
Well, and the Met Gala is coming up. That's the big
okay.
New York fashion party that's hosted by Anna Wintour from Vogue magazine. So Lauren Sanchez has been selected as the premier guest, the honored invitee of the evening.
Imagine that's what happens when you're married to a billionaire. Because when she had done that when she was a news anchor.
You marry a super villain, now all of a sudden you get to go to the gala. Like that didn't work out for me.
Not at all.
Well, parting ways with your cell phone might actually pay off at one restaurant in Italy. Al Condominio, which opened in the northern city of Verona in March, offers a free bottle of wine to customers who hand in their mobile phones before sitting down to eat their meal. I do too. Upon arrival, diners can place their phones inside of a box under lock and key right at the entrance. To claim their free bottle of wine, all they have to do is show the key to their waiter. That's not the only perk customers can get for locking up their mobile devices. They can also choose to review their meal, leaving the comment in the same box where they left their phone. The person who writes the most positive review will be offered a free meal during their next visit. 90% of the customers have left their phones in the box in exchange for the bottle of wine.
I think that's a great idea.
I do too.
It's not a new one. I want to say it was Chick-fil-A, but it was an American chain that they tried this as well. On each table they had a box, and they wanted families to sit down and everybody put it inside there, and they'd unlock it afterwards. And I think they would get maybe a free dessert or something like that too. I think it's an excellent idea because it's so tempting to just want to grab your phone when there's that lull going on, especially when you have kids. And just to get back to, let's just talk.
Yes.
And then a phone goes off and everybody around you. So they want everybody to have a good experience.
I've gone to a couple of shows. Dave Chappelle was one, and you had to give your phone, you had to get it was like an envelope, like a Velcro envelope, and it had to stay within that satchel, so to speak. And it was locked. If you needed to use your phone, you could go out into the lobby, unlock it, and get to it. But it was the most amazing thing to actually see people engaged in conversation with one another.
Yes.
Not on their phones, like you said, not scrolling aimlessly during a lull in the conversation, but people were engaged. They were watching the show. They weren't trying to film it with their camera. Because to me, it's like, are you going to watch that footage when you get home? Nobody's going to watch that footage.
No.
Nobody. Why are you recording it?
And 100%. Yeah. It's like being there, being present.
Yes.
And I think there's a bigger movement now because we went so far away from it.
Yeah.
And to me, I have no problem doing my watch. If it's an emergency, if something happened, I go, oh, I have got to go, and then I grab my phone and go outside and handle it.
That's why I love these movie screenings we get the fortune to go to. It's because everybody knows you pull your phone out, you're getting kicked out.
Exactly.
So I'm all for that. I was at a WWE thing, and this guy was streaming the match while we were there, and I just leaned up. I'm like, I pay good money for the floor seats. I don't want to watch
Right.
this through your phone.
Through your phone,
Please
right,
put it down.
yes.
He's like, well, I'm streaming for work. I'm like, that's not how this works, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You stream for
He was
work?
streaming because he had people watching
Oh,
it
I
while
see.
he's there, and I finally got an usher to get him out of there.
Here's what I love, though, and you guys been to the screening here in Orlando, is this lady, she'll come out, she'll lay out all the rules,
Yeah.
and she does not joke.
No.
around.
No.
She goes, I will take you to jail. This is a felony, and you will not get your phone. And like,
I've seen
I'm
her
like,
rope people
sing
out.
it, sister,
Yeah,
sing it.
it's nice. And the Masters tournament. You guys watch the Masters
Yes.
tournament? In Augusta,
Same deal.
they do not allow cell phones anywhere. So you see people picking up a payphone to actually make a phone call. Like, who knows anybody's number anymore? But you cannot bring a cell phone to the
Good.
Masters, which is
worked,
great.
I worked for the Golf Channel for a little bit, and one of the hosts, I won't say who, at the Golf Channel, walked out of the production truck and got on his phone, and he got permanently banned from Augusta.
Seriously?
Yes.
go.
Yes.
It's very
He was a
serious.
former PGA player, and they were like,
I like
Get out. And
I love it. I
Lifetime
love it.
If
ban.
you're going to get on your phone, go to dailyflashshow.com. It's waiting there for you. We will be waiting for you as well on the other side of this quick commercial break. Stick around. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English here. Tax season. The feds have so many new rules. Even celebrities may need an army of accountants to keep up. But if you don't have that type of money, don't worry. I got an army of taxes. I don't need it because the sassy accountant is joining us, Chantel Williams. Welcoming you back. You're going to give us some tips on what we need to do. Do we got to send our blood type this year for our government? Because they want to know everything. What do people need to be on the lookout for? You got some few tips and things that people need to be aware of.
Just have your paperwork in order. The main one is going to be if you have filed, did insurance, to have your insurance paperwork. Whether you want to file it on your own or use a professional, if you do not have your actual insurance documentation to prove you paid for insurance, you will get held up.
Okay, don't want that to happen at all. You got some tips also that you're talking about contributing to retirement accounts. All right, you got 401ks, but let's say your company doesn't offer one. What do you do?
You can actually start your own. Get with a financial advisor and it will really, really help. I have a couple clients who actually invest in their own RAs and stocks and investments. And what they end up doing is able to count it as a write-off. And so it helps a whole lot on their tax return.
And if you don't know where to start, an accountant is a perfect place. They know that, hey, listen, not everybody gets what this 401k deal is all about, be able to answer that in IRAs and that sort of thing. All right, organize your records for tax time. That just seems pretty important. But before that, you want to make a last-minute estimated tax payment. Why, and what is that?
So you want to do that because if you actually make over 150,000, you're going to get hit big time. So you want to make sure that you know exactly how much you need to pay. You can actually go on irs.gov and run the calculations to see how much you need to pay if you don't have an accountant or a tax professional to assist you doing that. And it will also help you make a decision if you need to put some more in your investments or your investment account before the end of the year.
Okay, that makes and so it's less stressful this time when it happens.
Yes.
Okay, and we always hear about itemization and keeping receipts. Is it that big of a deal?
Well, if you're self-employed, yes, because you can count a lot on your taxes as a write-off, especially if you're getting a Schedule C done on your tax return. And you want to make sure that you're counting your losses in the right places because you can actually count everything as a loss. And in doing so, you're broke. So you don't want to be broke on paper, but you still want to be rich, right?
Sure.
So
Yes.
there's a way to be rich broke at the same time, as long as you keep your paperwork and the people you work with know exactly where to put those losses at.
And they will. A good accountant will be able to do just that. You talk about filing and paying on time. Now, that just makes sense, but why is that so important?
Well, it's important because you will get hit with penalties and fees. But here's the thing. If you actually take the time to sit with someone and do tax planning in advance, because you can invest in other places, you can give yourself a bonus, you can give yourself more money in your 401k or your IRA. So you can structure it so you can give yourself more money instead of IRS more money. And then that also will save you in your taxes in the end.
Okay. Now, I've also heard, I guess it's a rumor, that you should, wait until like April 15th to file because then your paperwork's all the way down at the bottom and you're not going to get audited or less chance of audit. Is that true?
No, not really. The time of the year really doesn't matter. But if you're in the beginning in that first batch, because so many people are actually filing your taxes and the system is ran through a computer, believe it or not, it'll just kind of process you through. So the earlier, the better, but make sure you take time to actually, get a quote.
Yeah. Make sure that you know that, number one, that everything that you have turned in is okay, is fine. They'll if you're missing a form, will they let you know immediately? Or?
They will. So the system will let you know if it's something imperative for you to have when you're filing your taxes. It'll actually won't even let us process it through. Like again,
Oh,
your
I didn't know.
insurance
Okay.
documentation. If we don't have that, it will not let it through.
Okay, it's a little safeguard, I guess you could say
Correct.
that. And then finally, filing electronically is very important.
Yeah, filing electronically is really good because then you can have an actual electronic trail. You can set up an account on irs.gov and you can be able to go inside and check the status of it, see if you owe anything, or if you're getting a return back and you actually owe money, they'll deduct that from what you owe and it'll be like you're paying them back with some of the money you'll get.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see people make when they file?
Not shopping around. Most people just do their taxes on their own or they use the software that they can do free services on. But here's the thing, it's not really free. It starts off free. And then if you want them to open up more features, you got to pay an extra $29, an extra $50, an extra $80. And at the end of the day, you're paying the same thing you would have paid a professional to do the job for you. So be careful about using free online resources and shop around. Like take the time. We had someone come to us and they only got a $6,000 quote back for what they would have received back. When we were done, they were getting $13,000.
Wow.
Because of the deductions and the itemizations and understanding the laws. They change daily. So you want to work with someone who's actually up on the laws.
You mentioned $150,000 a couple times as a kind of like a requirement. Is that like if you're married or individually?
Married individually, that's kind of that number. So now if your
Okay.
income exceeds that, you want to have some kind of other side business. You want to do hair, bake cakes, babysit, do something at the church. You want to bring in another stream of income that you can file on a Schedule C so you can have some losses and walk away with some money.
I love that idea. Yeah. And then finally, the deduction people forget about that they need to know about.
Oh, their tithes and offerings from church. They forget that
really?
one. Yes, there's your tithes and offering from church, daycare. If you have daycare, aftercare, or children's sports activities, that's a huge one. And then also, if you are a W-2 person and you also have a 1099, don't just toss it off as, oh, it was just a couple of $100. Claim that. If you've made more than $600 from any source at all, claim that money because that will offset some of your tax responsibilities.
You know, we think of that too. You want to get the numbers together, how much you have to pay in taxes and how much you've made. Am I right on that?
Yes, of course.
And you say get a second job learning hair. I'm going to set up an appointment. I'm going to do your hair, all right?
All right, you can do it.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Hey, listen, we love having you on. You always lay it out perfectly.
Thank
Sassy
you.
accountant. You can check out the ALP firm. You can go and find out more details as well. ALPfirm.com. Get those taxes in on time and correctly so you don't get audited at all. We have more Flash coming up right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We love you. We're going to learn more about car smarts and exactly just how your car insurance, speaking of car insurance, makes a big deal and you might be paying more.
Wow.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. All right, you found the perfect car you've been looking for. Now what? Well, you got to get it insured, right? In today's Car Smarts, Lauren Fix, the car coach, tells us why, well, you're probably going to be paying a lot more.
Car insurance rates are going to increase again. Big insurers say they need to boost their premiums further to offset higher costs for repairs. Is that really true? Well, experts are predicting car insurance rates will rise at least 8.4% this year, and that started back in January, and at least they're expecting more increases from the two largest insurers. They're saying their rates rose that much more in the first quarter, and they're expecting even more hikes before the year end. So buckle up. Everything is about to get more expensive, and it's important you know what and why. Let's start with inflation. It is here. And as everything is increasing in price from fuel to food to housing, the rate of customer car insurance claims is not rising. And insurance companies are getting away with fewer insurance claims and record profits. And that was back during COVID-19 lockdowns as well, when traffic was light, people were staying at home, and minor fender benders were at an all-time low. Now, the most common insurance claim is a fender bender. And now that driving habits have returned to pretty much normal, people are back on the roads and moving around with life. And insurance claims are starting to creep back up to normal levels. And prices on car parts and repairs are still high. And since parts are hard to get and they're backlogged, that's leaving more customers to rely on insurance-provided rentals, which means they're taking a little bit more of a loss. Then there's been a sharp rise in catastrophic claims, both in autos and in homeowner insurance. Think about all the snowstorms, hurricanes, and tornadoes we've had across the country. And thanks to unprecedented flooding and strong storms in cities across the U.S., companies like Allstate saw catastrophic losses because of surges in claims by over $1 billion in the first quarter compared to last year. And Allstate executives said rates would go up until we get back to our historic profit margins. Insurance companies are claiming that they're falling on hard times and taking losses. Progressive shares slipped 2.5% following the release of their quarterly shareholder letter. They have reduced advertising for their well-known marketing character known as Flo, the fictional salesperson. Progressive said the move, being accompanied by premium rate increases, is not intended to bring growth to a screeching halt. Any impact would depend on how rivals also adjust their prices. Insurance companies claim that they need rate increases of around 10 more points. That's 10% this year, just to catch up and stay ahead of all the trends of the higher costs and claims for private passenger vehicles. So far, drivers have seen increases in the range of 8 to 12%. Adding another 10% would be absolutely crazy. The average price of a new car is just shy of $50,000 and $66,000 for an electric vehicle, which has even higher insurance rates. Make sure to shop around online before you renew your insurance policy. Don't assume they're going to give you a great rate, because they may not be. And you can save a few dollars by increasing your deductible. You can take safe driver courses, points reduction classes, and bundle your home and car insurance. I'm starting to sound like Flo. I don't know how that happened. But it's important that you do your homework and don't just renew the policy. I'm Lauren Fix, and you can find this information on my website, carcoachreports.com and dailyflashshow.com.
Well, thanks, Lauren. Well, in this week's Furry Friends, I know most of us here at Daily Flash are pet lovers and have our little furry friends at home. I've got my Bizkit, the Kiki, Mitch has his cats, Andrea has her dogs, but there's that inevitable part of being a pet owner when they have to cross that rainbow to the other side. And up till now, the idea of grieving a pet wasn't brought to light. Well, now support groups are popping up all over the country for grieving pet owners. Now, there's a good chance you're going to outlive your pets, especially the basic house cat or dog, by many years. And to most of us, they become a part of the family. The president of the Association for Pet Loss and Bereavement says people sometimes think they're going crazy because of what they're feeling and how badly they feel over the loss of a pet. Other experts credit the spike in the need to talk about the loss of their pet because of the pandemic, which they say made people more aware of the grief and more inclined to express it. Many people found themselves becoming closer to their pets during the lockdowns. Now, the best course is to find a legit support group in your local area via a shelter or an animal medical center, and watch out for those scam organizations online that just want to take your money to pat you on the back. So it's important that, once you grieve that pet, I know I had to put down a dog a few years ago, and it really crushed my whole family. Now, once you've grieved over your animal, the next thing is to look for a companion if you're so inclined. And experts say it's always right to find that perfect companion. So just make sure you go through the right steps, talk to some people, get some experts, and definitely check out those shelters because they'll give you the best advice. And Mitch, I don't know how you are with the pet grieving. I know you've had a few dogs and stuff in the past, so it can be pretty traumatizing.
It's horrible, actually, having to put a dog or even a cat down. It's really, really bad stuff. Good information. Love that, Matt. We got more Flash coming up after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Good job.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday. The Stanley Cups. I think the hype of them are kind of dying down. Would y'all
Craziness
say?
over.
Are you talking about the NHL finals?
Not
or
that one.
The actual drinking Stanley
The
Cups?
overpriced cups, right?
Gotcha, yes.
Okay, so and that means things go like $45, $35, $40, and all it is just a cup that's aluminum, like, right? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing really big. It's kind of like the Yeti. They're the new
Yeah.
Yeti, if you don't know what there is. Well, they've upped their game, and they threw a celebrity into the mix. Joanna Gaines is coming out with a lunchbox.
Magnolia.
Yeah. She's on those fixer-upper shows.
Yes.
And she's coming out with a stainless steel lunchbox.
Okay.
They'll come in 2 different colors, marine blue or white.
Okay.
And they're a 10-quart lunchbox.
Okay.
I don't think I'll have her face on it. remember in school, like I used to have a Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
And
Yeah.
Back to the Future one.
But yeah, back to you. $55, which to me is because those cups are like 45 for $55 for a aluminum or
Lunch
stainless
pail.
steel rather lunch pail just doesn't seem right in the first place. But if you want to be the cool kid on the block, I'm sure this will pick up even more, even though the decline of people buying those Stanley cups
I
are out
love the novelty of a good lunch pail, but I just don't see the practicality
there.
of
Right.
it.
Yeah. The big old metal thing,
Yes.
you know.
Do you remember walking to school or to the bus and you had the lunch pail, you had the band instrument, you had the backpack, and then God only knows what.
That's
I was
right.
like, it's amazing that we actually survived.
That's why we have our back's not broken.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about my lunchbox? It had the
thermos.
thermos, and then the top would come off, and
As a
you could
cup?
pour it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mom would put soup every once in a while. And I'm like, I don't want soup in there. Anyway, $55. You can get your own.
$55 for the Magnolia lunch pail. In the city of brotherly love, one police encounter might be anything but. A video has gone viral showing a Philadelphia police officer arresting what looks like his twin brother. In the video, you can see a man removing another man from a home in handcuffs. The 2 men appear to share similarities in appearance, but there is no clear confirmation in the video that the 2 men are related. You can hear the detainee yelling, "I'll be right home," while he's being placed in the police van. Neighbors appear to be laughing as the situation unfolds, and both men, the officer and the guy being arrested, are laughing as well.
I wonder if they had him, like, hey, you need to take him out there.
Yeah,
you know, 'cause
maybe.
it's like cops will do stuff like that. Are you a fashionista? Well, check this out. They're now calling the latest beauty trend doll makeup. Check this out. A baby face aesthetic started on the runways before taking over on social media. Here's what the look is. It features pencil-drawn micro brows, intense eyeshadows, bright blush, and exaggerated pouty lips. The trend incorporates pale face powder, intense colors, extra long lashes, and it's all thin, finished with a short dress and hair done up with a bow. If you're wondering what started the trend, think of Barbie's counterpart, the Bratz dolls. As the inspiration for them. Wasn't there a joke in the Barbie movie too about the Bratz? I think there was a reference.
Oh, there might have been,
There was
I'm
like a
sure.
reference, but it was like if
Kind
you
of a
knew,
hidden-
yeah,
yeah.
like an Easter egg kind of thing. And I remember about that. Hey, if you want to look like that, that's great. To me though, you just don't look real. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? I mean, it
yeah.
looks beautiful, but I'm like, you don't look real.
It almost looks like an AI
Yeah,
version
right.
of what you would imagine somebody in doll makeup to look
Indeed.
like. Yeah. Well, the online news feed, The Daily Beast, is looking for a reporter who will be focused on just one story, anything to do with the future Mrs. Jeff Bezos. The senior Lauren Sanchez correspondent will cover all aspects of the life of the former news anchor and current billionaire fiance. The job listing was pushed ahead of schedule when a British celebrity called Sanchez absolutely revolting in a recent Instagram post. The Sanchez reporter comes just months after Gannett hired a Taylor Swift reporter to post a constant stream of content related to the pop star.
And you were saying because of the Met Gala, she's going to be probably and the wedding coming up
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, the Met Gala in New York is the big party of the year, and so she's been honored as the the guest
The
of
honor-
honor.
guest of
yeah.
honor, all of that,
so
so.
she'll be the feature focus of that whole party,
All
hosted
right.
by Anna Wintour and Vogue magazine.
And if
yeah.
you think about it, it's like, okay, does she probably loves it, the fact that, I have a
Of
reporter
course.
only after me. But
Yeah.
it's because she's going to be popping up in the news, and if somebody can get more information prior to anybody else,
Yeah.
then why not?
How do you get close to a billionaire's fiance?
Money? I guess that's about it, right? That's the only way you can do it. All right, we have more Daily Flash coming your way. If you go anywhere, you miss it. Don't do that.
In today's Life Love Shopping, our focus is on love. Please welcome Arlene Pellicane, a top marriage and parenting author, to our show. Arlene, welcome. You just wrapped up Marriage Week and you're here to tell us more.
It's so good to be with you. National Marriage Week runs every year from February 7th to 14th. And it's a week to say, hey, you know what? Marriage, sometimes it gets bad press or not enough press. And this is a week to say marriage is a good thing. It's good for people. It's good for our nation. It's good for kids. So it's been a really fun week.
This year's theme for Marriage Week is Love Beyond Words. Why this angle for 2024?
Yeah, love beyond words. It's kind of like, don't just talk about it, do it, So when you said I do, in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, love beyond words, this theme is, hey, let's fulfill the vows that we make. Let's say that's something I committed to and I'm going to show up for you. Let's have that love beyond words that's not just cheap talk, but it's actions, things as small as, hey, this is my favorite dessert we're sharing and I'll let you have the, last bite, to as big as a person I just recently talked to, their husband had lost his eyesight. And for the past 9 years, he said, she's been my eyes. She'd made sure that I match. She's made sure that I get to my places on time. So it's a love beyond words that keeps showing up over and over again. That's really beautiful.
Well, it's hard to match that as an example, but are there other ways we can
I wanted to give you the
words?
spectrum, the
Yeah.
bite of dessert to all the way to taking care of someone.
Right. Any other ways that are simple for us just in a daily basis? You mentioned, the last scoop of dessert. Other ways we can love beyond words that are simple, but mean a lot.
Yeah. We think of this rhythm of daily connection and weekly dates and regular getaways. So daily connection, that's about, I'm going to spend 2 minutes without my phone, just looking at you and talking to you, or we'll take a short walk at the end of the day. Or, I'll send you a text and tell you that I love you in the middle of the day. Or I know a couple, they always have coffee together. No matter what happens in their schedule, they get up before that happens and they have 10 minutes together and they have coffee. So it's a daily connection that lets your spouse know, I got you and I still care about you, and then that weekly date. I love to tell people, shoot for a weekly date and you'll probably get 1 or 2 a month, and that is just fine. But
yeah.
It gives you something to look forward to. Make it novel, make it creative at marriageweek.org. Our website, we have all these creative date nights so that you can kind of make it more interesting, whether it's making a list from A to Z and kind of trying to find a date that kind of goes with each one of those letters, or try to see what can you accomplish with $25? Can you actually feed yourself with $25? So just try to infuse some different things and don't stop dating. And then regular getaways, like put something on your calendar. Even if you have young kids, your baby won't remember that you were away for 24 hours. Your toddler won't remember, but your spouse will remember. And so whether it's saving up for that vacation of a lifetime, or it's going a half an hour away and spending the night at a hotel and having 24 hours, those regular getaways, those are always love beyond words to show I still care about you.
What are some of the statistics saying about the state of marriage today, and how is it impacting our younger generation?
Yeah, we always hear, the divorce rate, all these things. The divorce rate is actually down, but it kind of makes sense because the marriage rate is also down. So the marriage rate has fallen by 65% since 1970. And if you look, for instance, at the silent generation, 81% of them got married. The boomers, 61% of them got married. Gen X, 53%, millennials, 44%. You can see, Andrea, this is, we're ticking down in terms of who's they're getting married. And what it means moving forward, if it continues in this trajectory, is that 1 out of 3 young people will never marry. And that's a pretty sobering statistic from an economical standpoint, from a fertility replacement standpoint,
Sure.
and just a happiness standpoint, because we always talk about college, go to college, but those boosts, college gives you a 64% boost in happiness.
Arlene, thank you so much. Stay with us. We're
Thank
back
you.
right after this.
Joining us to discuss how AmeriCorps Seniors is helping aging Americans form connections in their community and provide purpose and improve their lives through volunteering are AmeriCorps Senior Director Altea Sergey and Shelly Bronison, RSVP Volunteer with Volunteer Fairfax.
AmeriCorps is the federal agency for volunteerism and national service. And AmeriCorps Seniors focuses on engaging adults 55 years of age and over in national service in their communities. So we connect them to volunteer opportunities through our 3 signature programs, the Foster Grandparent Program, the Senior Companion Program, and RSVP. And they can build really good connections there. So for example, Shelly, who's here with me today, she has been a volunteer with the RSVP program since 2016, and she really values the connections that she's made, both personally and in the community.
Volunteering in my community is so important to me. I'm giving back. I'm making my community a better place to live in.
For more information, you can go to AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment.
Joining us to talk about the merit of moderation throughout the year is Michelle Lawton. She's the author of the book, Moderating a Love Affair with Food. Hi, Michelle.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Hi, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about Dry January, a huge success this year. Why do you think so many people participated or rather abstained?
Right. Well, Dry January started about 10 years ago, and it's been gaining momentum all around the world. And I've read that 40% of Americans want to drink less alcohol, and 25% of those who participated in Dry January really got benefits from it, and it's growing. So I think we're in this massive cultural change post-pandemic. People are thinking about living in extremes, overworking, overeating, over drinking, and they're trying it on for size, like me, trying dry nights, experiencing good sleep, maybe losing a little weight, saving some money. So it's perfectly acceptable now to say, it's my dry night. I'm not drinking tonight, the way we might have said, we're not smoking. So, it's really interesting also as a marketer. I think about beer without alcohol, and it's not that different than caffeine, caffeine without coffee without caffeine. So it's a big shift. We've arrived. But I think that, people are taking care of themselves and they're being confident in it.
The decaf version of alcohol. Well, you've talked about something called the gray space. Can you please explain what that means?
So living in the gray can be a happy medium. As I was writing the book, I was talking with a nutritionist, and she talked about in eating, if you have portion control and frequency, you can eat what you want. So I just started thinking about this as a wine and food pro. I had to come up with some strategies because I love wine for life. And so, I just take alcohol off the table for a couple of days a week. And I do that early in the week. I'm working and I have to stay sharp, so I can really look forward to my wine on the weekends. And then in terms of portion control, I put alcohol in the fun category. There's foods for fuel and foods for fun. And, I wouldn't have 3 ice cream cones in one night, right? So 3 margaritas might be a little bit much.
Well, you also talk about balance without deprivation. What are some of those examples?
Right. So, there's so many different alternatives out there to explore now. I love to cook. So, for example, I was having a dinner party a couple of weeks ago, and I had the white wine with my starter. And then when I brought out the red wines, all the wines that we normally love, I also brought out a non-alcoholic wine made with sustainable grapes from Napa. And, it was really delicious, and I enjoyed it through the meal. So I think to provide some alternatives, try some new things on for size. I do a lot of cooking. So I had an aperitivo non-alcoholic recently, and that normally would have been my Negroni during the pandemic. To be honest. So this is a new routine. So I think that, I talk about this in the book, if you think about your relationship with alcohol, maybe do some journaling, you can really incorporate some of these things into your routine and share with friends. And we're losing stigma. We can talk about now alcohol in a way that I think, wasn't as easy in the past.
Michelle, thank you so much. Some great information. For more information, please visit moderatingaloveaffairwithfood.com. You'll find that book there. It's got some great information and some good inspiration.
Here's lifestyle editor Joanne Butler. She's got advice on how to actually stick to your resolutions.
Well, for me, it's all about creating a habit and doing something after I do something else. Like after I shower, I'm going to moisturize my skin, or after I have my first cup of coffee, I'm going to go for that walk. That just helps me create a routine and then actually stick to it. Of course, when I need a little more help than that, or just a friendly reminder or even some inspiration, I leave myself love notes. So don't be afraid to leave a Post-it note everywhere. I love these Post-it super sticky notes because they stick everywhere. Shower doors, windows, walls, you name it. And they come in fun colors, and they're great for color coding tasks. And then these are a little bit bigger than traditional size. They're 4x6, so amazing for shopping lists and meal planning and homework, and just if you want to leave someone a note. And they also have an environmentally friendly option. These are made from 100% recycled paper. Even the packaging is recyclable, and they come in these pretty pastels too, which I just love for spring. They have some super organizational tips and tricks on their website too. too at postit.com and on their social accounts. So definitely follow them at Postit. Next are beauty routines. I vowed to moisturize and take better care of my skin, which a lot of people have, but most don't realize that their scalp is skin too, and that needs to be taken care of as well, especially this time of year when we bundle up in hats. All that excess sweat and irritation gets built up in there, and it makes you more susceptible to dandruff symptoms. So you need the right shampoo, and this is my go-to to alleviate this uncomfortable feeling. It's Head & Shoulders Bare. It goes really deep to fight dandruff at the source and just refreshes your scalp. And it only has 9 ingredients, including the active ZPT, clinically proven to fight dandruff, and it's free from sulfates, silicones, and dyes. There's Bare Pure Clean for oily hair and scalps, and Bare Soothing Hydration for drier. It's just $9.99 online and in store at Walmart. So it's a great deal. Now, last but not least, daylight saving is the annual reminder to make sure all of the important things around your house are in check and working, especially the ones that keep us safe, like smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. Well, Kidde is a fabulous brand that has made this a whole lot easier this year. Instead of replacing the batteries in your smoke and or carbon monoxide alarms, you can install this one that has a built-in battery that lasts for 10 years. It's their smoke and carbon monoxide alarm smart features. It has a built-in lithium backup battery. It helps keep your family safe even when the power goes out. Plus, you can easily check it through the Kidde Home Safe app when you're not home. It'll even give you urgent notifications if smoke or carbon monoxide is detected. So just love this. You can get it right at kidde.com, Amazon, and at the Home Depot. Really a game changer. And there you have it, my spring lifestyle essentials to help you stick to those resolutions and regimens that you made for yourself.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. It's the year 1969, and an ambitious woman aspires to cross the line between the haves and the have-nots. It's her way of securing a seat at America's most exclusive table. This is today's must-watch series, Palm Royale.
How did you get past security?
I came in the back.
There are no doors on the back of the Palm Royale?
I never said I used the door. I had only been in Palm Beach 2 weeks.
We don't know you.
I'm Maxine Delcourt. But I already knew the Palm Royale, the most exclusive club in the world, was where I belonged.
Evelyn, you are the woman to know in Palm Beach.
I don't like you, Maxine.
You're very good at making things awkward.
I don't concern myself with the shenanigans of vapid poons.
What is Evelyn wearing?
Sleeves.
You know anything about rich people?
I parked on the lawn.
Robert, shake me another martini, and then let's play doctor.
Do you work, Maxine? God, no. You want to work.
God, no.
You really want all this? More than anything I've ever wanted in my whole life.
Like to take a few pictures?
Maxine, you're the lead story. I see us all as one sisterhood.
Are people looking for something new?
Let me tell you a little something about the Palm Royale. It's a nightmare, and that's all thanks to you.
Don't underestimate a Delacourt.
I would never.
Palm Beach is just a shell game. Everybody has a secret.
You two behave.
You don't have to have money. The blackmail is right here.
You don't know the half of it.
What in the fires of hell's pits is going on here?
Off we go.
Looks
Kristen
fun.
Wiig, Ricky Martin, Carol Burnett.
Ricky Martin, who was hunking? It's going to be interesting to see his acting chops.
If you look at him, though, he looks like a movie star.
Oh, he does.
Idol,
He always
right?
has,
Old
right,
school.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That does it for our show. We definitely appreciate you joining us. Of course, at any time you'd like, you could always check out all the information we talked about on our website.
Yeah, dailyflashshow.com is our web address. Web address. You can drive by there and find us. Use the drive-through, if you will.
And if you want to have more fun, why don't you join us tomorrow? Because we're going to do it all over again. We deeply appreciate you. Y'all take care. We will see you when we look at you.
Be good, everybody.